All right, so today we are diving deep into the world of mosquitoes.
Hmm.
We got this YouTube video sent in called 10 Facts About Mosquitoes You Probably Didn't Know About by the channel Talks. And I have to say, I think some of these facts are going to give us a whole new perspective on these little guys.
Oh, I'm sure. Always ready to be surprised, especially about mosquitoes.
Yeah, right. Well, they start right off the bat with a pretty wild number. Over 3,500 different species of mosquitoes worldwide.
Wow.
That's a lot of mosquitoes.
That is a lot, yeah. And it really kind of makes you think, we always talk about mosquitoes like they're just one thing, you know? But with that much diversity, I mean, different species are going to have different behaviors, live in different
So
environments.
transmit different diseases even.
Exactly.
So like, okay, it's cool there are thousands of types, but what does that actually mean for us? For like mosquito control and all that?
Well, it means that you can't just have one strategy for dealing with all of them. A one-size-fits-all approach just won't work. I mean, some species breed in stagnant water, while others prefer flowing water. So you really got to understand the nuances of each species to target your control efforts effectively.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now this next fact from the video is kind of scary. They say that mosquitoes are the deadliest creatures on Earth,
Oh, wow.
responsible for millions of deaths every year. I mean, how can something so tiny be that dangerous?
It's true. It's a pretty shocking statistic. But it's important to remember that it's not like mosquitoes are out to get us, you know? They're not inherently deadly. It's their role as vectors that makes them so dangerous.
Vectors.
Yeah, a vector is basically just an organism that transmits a disease-causing agent from one host to another. And unfortunately, mosquitoes are really good at it.
Yeah.
They pick up these pathogens when they feed on an infected person or animal and then spread them to others when they bite again.
Oh, so it's not that they're trying to kill us. It's just a side effect of how they eat.
Right. And I mean, you can't deny the impact they've had on human history, for better or worse. Malaria, dengue fever, yellow fever, all mosquito-borne diseases. They've shaped civilizations.
Shaped civilizations. Wow. That's a heavy legacy for something so small.
It really is.
And speaking of mosquitoes and humans, the video goes on to talk about why some people seem to be like mosquito magnets, while others hardly get bitten at all. Like, I always feel like I'm the main course in a mosquito buffet.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know that feeling.
So what is it, like scientifically, that makes some people more attractive to mosquitoes?
Well, mosquitoes have gotten really good at finding their next meal, that's for sure. They're attracted to a bunch of different factors: chemical signals, body heat, and carbon dioxide.
Wait, they can smell our breath? How do they even do that?
I know, it's wild. They've got these special receptors on their antenna that are super sensitive to carbon dioxide. So even from far away, they can sense those plumes of CO2 we exhale, and it helps them find us.
So the more we breathe, the tastier we are.
I mean, to some extent, yeah. But it's not just that. Things like body odor, skin temperature, even the bacteria on our skin microbiota can make a difference too.
The bacteria on our skin. So like, some people's bacteria are tastier than others?
Kind of. It's a new area of research, but they're finding that some types of bacteria produce compounds that mosquitoes love, while others might actually repel them.
Wow, so my little bacteria buddies could be the reason I'm getting eaten alive. That's crazy.
It is. Really makes you think about all the different factors that go into it, even the microscopic ones.
So, okay, we know mosquitoes are attracted to some folks more than others, but here's a question I never thought to ask. Are all mosquitoes bloodsuckers?
That's a good one. And the answer is actually no. Only the females bite.
Really?
Yeah. The males are perfectly harmless. They feed on nectar and plant juices.
Huh. So it's just the ladies we got to worry about.
Exactly. And there's a reason for that, too. They need the blood for egg production. All that protein and iron helps them develop and nourish their eggs.
So it's all about motherhood. Even tiny mosquitoes are dedicated to their kids.
That's right. And it's important to remember that when we think about mosquito control, if you can target the females and their ability to reproduce, you can really make a difference in population numbers. And speaking of reproduction, the video mentions that mosquitoes have a pretty short lifespan.
Yeah, like a few weeks. Seems crazy that they can do so much damage in that little time.
Well, they kind of have to, right? It's all part of their strategy: short life, tons of babies.
To keep the species going, huh?
Exactly. Predators, environmental changes, and then us humans trying to control them. They've got to reproduce like crazy to survive.
So even if we win a few battles, the war is never really over.
That's right. One female can lay hundreds of eggs, so even a small population can explode if the conditions are good for them.
And if they're carrying disease, yikes.
Exactly. It can get out of hand quickly.
Talk about survival of the fittest.
Oh.
And speaking of surviving, Did you know mosquitoes have been around for over 100 million years?
It's incredible, isn't it?
They were buzzing around when dinosaurs roamed the Earth.
I mean, that puts things in perspective. We see them as a nuisance, but they've been here way longer than us.
They've seen it all.
They really have. And that's a testament to their adaptability. They've evolved over millions of years to survive all sorts of challenges, predators, climate changes, and even more recently, us trying to get rid of them with insecticides.
So they're always evolving, staying one step ahead.
Exactly. And that's why we've got to keep researching and finding new ways to control them.
It's like an arms race.
It really is.
And speaking of adaptations, the video also talks about their flying skills. Apparently, they can fly up to 4 kilometers per hour and weave through all kinds of obstacles.
That's right. And that's not just about being annoyingly good at getting us, It also plays a huge role in how they spread diseases.
Oh, right, because they can travel farther and reach more people.
Exactly. They can cover large areas and find new hosts, which makes them much more efficient vectors.
So their flying skills are part of what makes them so dangerous. That's kind of a scary thought. But even with all the bad stuff we've talked about, the video ends on a slightly more positive note.
Oh.
It turns out mosquitoes are actually an important food source for lots of animals.
That's true. It's easy to forget that even the creatures we find annoying play a role in the ecosystem.
So it's all about perspective.
Right. Mosquitoes are food for birds, bats, dragonflies, even other insects. They're part of the food chain.
So they're not just bloodsuckers, they're dinner for someone else.
Exactly. It's a reminder that everything's connected, even the pesky mosquitoes.
It makes you think about mosquito control in a different way, too. We need to protect ourselves, but we also don't want to mess up the balance of nature.
Absolutely. It's about finding that balance.
Okay, so far we've covered a lot about mosquitoes, how diverse they are, how dangerous they can be, how they've adapted over time, and even their role in the food chain. But the video also talks about something I think a lot of people are really interested in.
What's that?
How to avoid getting bitten.
Yes. The age-old question.
Because honestly, I'm always looking for new ways to keep those mosquitoes away.
Me too. The video has some good tips.
Well, let's hear them. Spill the secrets to a bite-free summer.
Well, the first line of defense is usually insect repellent.
Right, but there are so many different kinds. What really works?
Yeah, it can be tough to choose, right? I mean, DT is definitely effective, but it can be pretty strong.
Especially for kids, or if you have sensitive skin.
Exactly. There are some good alternatives, though. Picaridin, oil of lemon eucalyptus, those are both effective and a bit gentler.
Good to know. The video also mentions wearing the right clothes, long sleeves, pants, light colors.
Oh, yeah, that's key, covering up exposed skin.
Seems obvious, but I bet a lot of people forget.
Yeah, and the light colors thing actually helps too. Mosquitoes are more attracted to dark contrasting colors, so lighter clothing can make you less of a target.
Interesting. Another tip is to avoid peak mosquito hours. But I feel like mosquitoes are always out to get me.
Well, it depends on the species. Some are active during the day, but a lot of them come out mostly at dawn and dusk.
Makes sense. It's cooler and less windy then.
Exactly. Perfect flying conditions for them.
So if you can, stay inside when they're most active. Or if you have to be out, load up on the repellent and cover up.
Definitely. The video also talks about getting rid of standing water around your house. That's a big one.
Yeah, because that's where they breed, right?
Exactly. Even a tiny bit of water is enough for them. Flower pots, buckets, bird baths, even your gutters.
Gotcha. So just be mindful of that and empty those containers regularly.
Yep. It all comes down to being proactive. Don't give those mosquitoes a chance to take over your yard.
I like it. So basically, if we use repellent, cover up, avoid peak hours, and get rid of standing water, we can significantly reduce our chances of getting bitten.
Absolutely. These simple steps can make a huge difference, both in protecting yourself from bites and from the diseases they can carry.
Oh, I feel like I've learned a ton today. We started out thinking about mosquitoes as just annoying little pests, but we've come to appreciate their complexity, their role in the ecosystem, and their incredible ability to survive.
It's amazing how much there is to learn about them, right? And I think the main takeaway is that knowledge is power when it comes to mosquitoes. The more we understand about them, the better we can protect ourselves and coexist with these ancient creatures.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe someday we'll figure out how to make ourselves totally invisible to them.
Now that would be a game changer.
Until then, I'm putting all these tips into practice. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been really eye-opening. And to all our listeners out there, we want to hear from you. What surprised you the most about mosquitoes? What are your go-to tips for staying bite-free? Share your thoughts and experiences because let's face it, we're all in this together.